So as you all know, Bandai has just announced that their next upcoming TCG is going to be Naruto, a massive IP in the anime space. However, everybody in the One Piece community seems to be freaking out about this. Is 2027 going to be a bumpy road for the One Piece TCG? We're going to cover that question in today's video, and guys, I think you're going to be a little surprised with what I'm going to tell you. Before we get into the video, guys, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and of course, click the link down in the description below if you're thirsty for some gamer subs. Use code TheoryOrPop, get 10% off your order. And without any further ado, let's get into it. So real quick, guys, I just want to apologize. I've been gone for the last 10 days on a trip to Seattle, and then I went over to Alberta for a bit, went to Banff, went to Toronto, and now I'm back home finally. It's been a crazy 10 days, and I've got some interesting stories to tell that are card related, but I want to focus today on this news, the Naruto TCG announcement. Now, I'm a little late to the game. However, I'm still seeing a lot of strange comments being made about what 2027 could bring for the One Piece card game. And guys, I want to quell some of your nerves because I really have taken a deep look at a lot of this, and I've got a couple of things I want to talk about. 4 things specifically, and let's just start off with number 4, being the fact that there's already a Naruto card game. If you didn't know, Mythos is already out, it's already a thing, and people are kind of confused. Why is there a new card game coming out? Why did Bandai just all of a sudden say, hey, we're going to make our own TCG for the Naruto IP? Obviously, it seems like a lot of drama has ensued over this. Mythos does not seem too happy. People are not really happy about this because there's already been pretty cool cards that have come out from Mythos, and, you know, it's already a card game. Now, the thing is that people are saying that the Mythos card game is kind of mid. It's not that great. Apparently the mechanics aren't really that fun. And obviously if the player base isn't too excited, then it's not going to do well long term. And, you know, there's already other really cool things, like we have serialized cards, we have gold cards. A bunch of stuff has already kind of come out. And I'm not sure what set we're on now, but I know we're probably on set 3 or 4. I haven't really dabbled too much in Mythos. I have some cards, but I've not really seen too many packs, so I'm not quite sure where they are with their cards. But regardless, a lot of people are not really happy about this. And Mythos here said, since its launch on March 13th, Naruto Mythos has had an incredible start, and we are fully committed to continue the journey. We carefully read your feedback, so, you know, they're just talking about the card game and stuff like that. And they don't seem to be going away anytime soon. So we're having different companies that are controlling the IP kind of just go their own ways with these cards, and that's a little strange, okay? It's almost as if an IP from Union Arena just decided, you know what, we're just going to go do our own thing while they still have this IP going on here. So it's definitely a little strange, and I'm not really quite sure what's going to happen with that, but I do think that the Bandai TCG will ultimately be better, just because Bandai does seem to have a better grip on their card game and how they develop their card games. And not to mention, just getting like a closer look at what these cards could potentially look like. I mean, Bandai is pretty good at their cards. I mean, they have control over so many IPs, like Digimon, Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball Z card game. I mean, they make really good cards. And of course, One Piece as well. So I think ultimately, if the card game itself is really fun and appealing, I do think Mythos is probably not going to survive it, but nothing's guaranteed. However, that's just also my personal opinion. Now, the second point I want to make here is that the Naruto story is kind of like over. Like, I know the IP is still alive. Naruto was iconic. Naruto Shippuden, I'm currently watching it. I've never actually finished the whole thing, but I'm halfway. It's fantastic. I love the Naruto IP. But then Boruto comes around, and the community has had very mixed opinions. Now, I'm in no way trying to diss Boruto. I'm not saying anything to anger the fan base for Naruto. But Boruto just didn't hit the same, and I don't think that's necessarily the best outcome for this IP. Naruto will always be iconic. I will always love Naruto. And again, Naruto Shippuden has been an absolute blast. But from what I've been seeing over the years, a lot of ridicule for Boruto, a lot of confusion. Perhaps as the story's progressed, that's changed a little bit. I used to see a lot more hate when this first came out. But when you compare it to the One Piece IP, I mean, guys, let's be honest. The One Piece TCG is still going to grow. We're probably going to get to the 5th anniversary set in 2027. So there's a question of that. Will the Naruto launch be around that time? We're going to be getting lots of crazy news, like the next season of the live action's going to be coming out in 2027, supposedly, and that's the whole Alabasta arc, which will be absolutely insane in the live action. We've also got Wit Studio announcing the new adaptation of the beginning of One Piece is going to be reanimated, and that's coming out in February of 2027, which is going to be crazy news because a lot of people have complained about the animation style because it's obviously old. So I think that's going to bring new people into the space again, which is super exciting. And not to mention, the One Piece story is still not going to be over. I mean, 2027 is going to be an incredibly hyped year. The manga will continue, and we're already in a current space now in the story where it's getting so hype, okay? We're probably going to be at the end of Elbaf and into the next arc, whatever that's going to be in the manga. But the anime adaptation is going to be phenomenal. I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you know, you know, there's going to be insane hype around what's coming for 2027. And, you know, people are already getting crazy over OP-17, okay? And Elbaf has already just been such an incredible ride, so there's no doubt in my mind the One Piece IP is just going to continue to boom. And guys, I just also want to remind you that the One Piece card game has continued to go up. It has been an incredible ride over the last 6 months alone. The One Piece card game has been exploding in popularity, and I really think more and more people are going to come in as time progresses. Now, going back to the Naruto TCG, if I were to really speculate on what I think is going to happen, I think that depending on the time of when this card game launches, there will obviously be hype. I do think there will be a lot of popularity and a lot of money that's going to go into this card game in the beginning. Do I think it's going to ruin or upheave or uproot the One Piece TCG? I sort of do and I sort of don't. What I think might happen is that while the One Piece card game continues to grow in popularity and the prices of cards continue to go up, I do think when OP-17 finally comes out, we're probably just going to see a dip for a little while. Now, as you know from last year, OP-13 was the big hype set, and then, of course, the reprints were announced, and that kind of messed things up. But I do think we're going to see a bit of a dip. Depending on when the Naruto game launches, I think is going to really impact what happens here. But even if the Naruto TCG becomes really popular, I don't necessarily think it's going to cause a massive change in the One Piece TCG, but I do think there will be people who are going to jump ship or at least try and take profits and get into the Naruto TCG because it's going to be brand new. No one's really going to know what cards are going to do well, but you bet your ass people are going to be making those bets early on. So I do think in the beginning it will probably have some kind of financial impact on the One Piece market, but long term, the IP for One Piece is still alive and well, guys. But the Naruto TCG, I personally think, is probably going to hover around the same level as the current Dragon Ball Z card game. And by the way, the Dragon Ball TCG card game has been doing quite well. It's definitely been growing, but I just can't see it eclipsing the One Piece TCG. There's just too much hype. The IP is still thriving. And as much as I love Naruto, the story is kind of over with Naruto. I mean, we're into Boruto now, but we're kind of doing what we're doing with Dragon Ball Z. And, you know, we're looking back, we're like, yeah, we love Dragon Ball Z. We love Goku. You know, we love Naruto. We love Sasuke. But, like, there's no new Naruto and Sasuke episodes, really. I mean, Boruto is kind of, I get they're in Boruto, but listen, it's just my opinion. I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers here. But overall, guys, I think the One Piece TCG is going to do just fine. We will have our dips. We will have our strange events or black swans or whatever you want to call it. But overall, I'm not too concerned about the Naruto TCG affecting the One Piece TCG, and I don't think you should either. But anyways, guys, I hope you did enjoy that video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I'm excited to be back, so I'll be posting more videos now. A video should pop up on the screen. Be sure to click it, and I will see you over there.